The first question: how is it possible that by simply becoming aware at particular points in the breathing process, one can attain to enlightenment? How is it possible to become free from the unconscious by just being aware of such a small and momentary gap in the breathing? This question is significant, and to many minds this question would have occurred. So many things have to be understood. First, it is thought that spirituality is some difficult attainment. It is neither. It is neither difficult nor an attainment. Whatsoever you are already spiritual. Nothing new is to be added to your being. Nothing is to be discarded from your being. You are as perfect as possible. It is not that you are going to be perfect somewhere in the future. It is not that you have to do something arduous to be yourself. It is not a journey to some other point, somewhere else. You are not going somewhere else. You are already there. That which is to be attained is already attained. This idea must go deep. Only then you will be able to understand why such simple techniques can help. If spirituality is some attainment, then of course it is going to be difficult. Not only difficult, but really impossible. If you are not already spiritual, you cannot be. You can never be. Because how one who is not spiritual can be spiritual? If you are not divine already, then there is no possibility. There is no way. And whatsoever effort you may make, efforts made by one who is not already divine cannot create divinity. If you are not divine, your efforts cannot create divinity. Then it is impossible. But the whole point is totally opposite. You are already that which you want to attain. The end of longing is already there, present in you. Here and now, this very moment, you are that which is known as divine. The ultimate is here. It is already the case. That's why simple techniques can help. It is not an attainment, but a discovery. It is hidden. And it is hidden in very small things. Persona, just like clothes. Your body is here, hidden in clothes. In the same way, your spirituality is here, hidden in certain clothes. Those clothes are your personality. You can be naked just here and now. In the same way, you can be naked in your spirituality also. But you don't know what are the clothes. You don't know how you are hidden in them. You don't know how to be naked. You have been with clothes so long, for lives and lives and lives, you have been with clothes, and you have been so identified with the clothes, that now you don't think these are clothes, you think these clothes are you. That is the only barrier. For example, you have some treasures, but you have forgotten. Or you have not yet recognized that this is a treasure, and you go on begging in the street. You are a beggar. If someone says, go and look inside your house, you need not be a beggar. You can be an emperor this very moment. The beggar is bound to say, what nonsense you are talking. How I can be an emperor this very moment? I have been begging for years. Still I am a beggar. And even if I go on begging for lives together, I am not going to be an emperor. So how absurd, illogical your statement is that you can be an emperor this very moment. It is impossible. The beggar cannot believe it. Why? Because the begging mind is a long habit. But if the treasure is just hidden in the house, then simple digging, removing the earth a little bit, and the treasure will be there. And immediately he will not be a beggar again. He will become an emperor. The same is with spirituality. It is a hidden treasure. Nothing to be achieved somewhere in the future. You have not yet recognized it. It is there already in you. You are the treasure. But you go on begging. So simple techniques can help. Digging earth, removing a little bit is not a big effort. But you can become an emperor immediately. You have to dig a little bit to remove the earth. And when I say to remove the earth, it is not only symbolically that I am saying. Literally, your body is part of the earth. And you have become identified with the body. Remove this earth a little bit. Create a hole in it. And you will come to know the treasure. That's why this question will occur to many. Really, to everyone this question will occur. How is small techniques like this, being aware of your breathing, being aware of the incoming breath, outgoing breath, and then realizing the interval between the two. Is this enough? Such a simple thing? Is this enough for enlightenment? Is this only the difference between you and the Buddha? That you have not realized the gap between two breaths and Buddha has realized only this much? It seems illogical. The distance is vast between a Buddha and you. The distance seems infinite. The distance between a beggar and an emperor is infinite. But the beggar can become immediately the emperor if there is treasure hidden already. Buddha was a beggar like you. He was not a Buddha always. On a particular point, the beggar died and he became the master. This is not a gradual process really. It is not that Buddha goes on accumulating. Then one day he is not the beggar but becomes the emperor. No. A beggar can never become an emperor if it is going to be an accumulation. He will remain a beggar. He may become a rich beggar, but he will remain a beggar. And a rich beggar is a bigger beggar than a poor beggar. Suddenly one day Buddha realizes the inner treasure. He is no more a beggar. He becomes the master. The distance between Siddhartha Gautam and Gautam Buddha is infinite. It is the same distance that is between you and a Buddha. But the treasure is hidden within you as much as it was hidden in a Buddha. A very small technique can be helpful. Take another example. One man is born with blind eyes, diseased eyes. For a blind man, the world is a different thing. A small operation may change the whole thing. Because only eyes have to be made all right. The moment eyes are ready, the seer is hidden behind. He will begin to look from the eyes. The seer is already there. Only windows are lacking. You are in a house with no windows. You can break a hole in the wall and suddenly you can look out. We are already that which we will be, we should be, we ought to be. The future is already hidden in the present. The whole possibility is here in the seed. Only a window has to be broken. Only a small surgical operation is needed. If you can understand this, that spirituality is already there, already the case, then there is no problem. That how such small efforts can help. Really, no big effort is needed. Only small efforts are needed. And smaller, the better. And if you can do them effortlessly, the best. If you can change them in a spontaneous act, better. That's why it happens. Many times it happens, then the more you try to do, you cannot attain to it. Your very effort, your tension, your occupiedness, your longing, expectation becomes the barrier. With very small effort, effortless effort they call it in Zen, doing as if not doing. It happens easily. The more you are mad after it, the less is the possibility. Because where a needle is needed, you are using a sword. The sword will not be helpful. It may be bigger, but where a needle is needed, a sword won't do. Go to a butcher. He has very big instruments. And go to a brain surgeon. You will not find so big instruments with a brain surgeon. And if you find, then escape immediately. A brain surgeon is not a butcher. He needs very small instruments. The smaller, the better. Spiritual techniques are more subtle. They are not grass. They cannot be. Because the surgery is even more subtle. In the brain, the surgeon is doing something still with grass matter. But when you are working on spiritual planes, the surgery becomes more and more etheric. No grass matter is there. It becomes subtle. One thing. Secondly, the very concept that something is smaller, something is small, so how a bigger effect is possible through it is irrational, unscientific. Now science knows, smaller the particle, more atomic, more explosive. Bigger really. The smaller it is, the bigger is the effect. Can you conceive? Before 1945, could any imaginative poet, dreamer conceive that one atomic explosion will wipe out completely two big cities in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki? 2 lakh people simply wiped out of existence within seconds. And what was the explosive force used? An atom. The most smallest particle exploded to big cities. You cannot see the atom. Not only with eyes you cannot see by any means. With no instruments, the atom can be seen. We can only see the effects. So don't think that Himalaya is bigger because it has such a big body. The Himalaya is just impotent before an atomic explosion. One small atom can wipe out the whole Himalaya. Bigness in grass material is not necessarily power. On the contrary, smaller the unit, more penetrating. Smaller the unit, more intensely filled with power. These small techniques are atomic. Those who are doing bigger things, they don't know the atomic science. A person who is working with atoms, you will think just a small person working with small things. And a person who is working with Himalaya will look very big. Hitler is working with great masses. Mao is working with great masses. And Einstein and Planck, they are working in their labs with small units of matter, energy particles. But ultimately, before Einstein's research, politicians are just impotent. They are working on a bigger canvas, but they don't know the secret of the small unit. Moralists always work on big planes, but grass, the thing looks very big. They devote their whole life moralizing themselves, practicing this and that, sanyam, control. They go on controlling. The whole edifice looks very big. Tantra is not concerned. Tantra is concerned with atomic secrets in human being, in human mind, in human consciousness. And Tantra has achieved atomic secrets. These methods are atomic methods. If you can attain to them, their result is explosive, cosmic. Another point to be noted, the moment you say how with such small, simple, little exercises one can become enlightened. This you are saying without doing the exercise. If you do it, then you will not say that this is a small, simple exercise. It looks, because within 2 or 3 sentences the whole exercise has been given. You know the atomic formula. 2 or 3 words and the whole formula is given. And with those 2 or 3 words, those who can understand and those who can use those 3 words, they can destroy the whole earth. But the formula is very small. These are formulas. So if you just look at the formula, it may look very, very small, simple thing. It is not. Try to do it. When you will do it, then you will know it is not so easy. It looks simple. It is one of the most deepest things. We will analyze the process, then you will understand. When you take your breath in, you never feel the breath. You have never felt the breath. You will immediately deny. You will say, this is not right. We may not be conscious continuously, but we feel the breath. No. You don't feel the breath, you feel the passage. Look at the sea. Waves are there. You see the waves. But those waves are created by air, wind. You don't see the wind. You see the effect on the water. When you take breath in, it touches your nostril. You feel the nostril. You never know the breath. It goes down, you feel the passage. It comes back, again you feel the passage. You never feel the breath. You just feel the touch on the passage. This is not meant. When Shiva says, be aware, First you will become aware of the passage. When you become completely aware of the passage, then only you will begin by and by to be aware of the breath itself. And when you become aware of the breath, then you will be capable to be aware of the gap, the interval. It is not so easy. As it looks, it is not so easy. For tantra, for the whole Indian seeking, there are layers of awareness. If I embrace you, first you will become aware of my touch of the body, not of my love. My love is not so gross. And ordinarily we never become aware of love. We are aware only of the bodies in movement. We know loving movements, we know non-loving movements. But we have never known love itself. If I kiss you, you become aware of the touch, not of my love. That love is a very subtle thing. And unless you become aware of my love, the kiss is just dead. It means nothing. If you can become aware of my love, then only you can become aware of me. Because that again is a deeper layer. The breath goes in, you feel the touch, not the breath. But you are not even aware of that touch. If something is wrong, only then you feel it. You have some difficulty in breathing, then you feel it. Otherwise, you are not aware. The first step will be to be aware of the passage, where breath is felt, touching. Then your sensitivity will grow. It will take years to become so sensitive that not the touch but the movement of breath is known. Then Tantra says you have known prana, the vitality. And only then the gap where breath stops, where breath is not moving, or the center where breath touches the center, or the fusion point, or the turning where breath, the ingoing breath becomes outgoing. This will become arduous. Then it will not be so simple. If you do something, only then you will know how difficult it is. If you go in it, Buddha took 6 years to come to the center beyond the breath, to come to this turning. He had a long, arduous journey, 6 years. Then it happened. Mahavir was working on it for 12 years. Then it happened. But the formula is simple. And theoretically, this can happen this very moment. Theoretically, remember. There is no barrier theoretically why it should not happen this very moment, except you. You are the barrier. This can happen this very moment. The treasure is there. The method is known to you. You can dig. But you will not dig. Even this question is a trick not to dig. Because your mind says such a simple thing. Don't be a fool. How? How you can become a Buddha by such a simple thing? It is not going to be. And then you are not going to do anything because how? This can happen. Mind is tricky. If I say this is very difficult, the mind says this is so difficult. It is beyond you. If I say this is very simple, the mind says this is so simple that only fools can believe. And mind goes on rationalizing things, always escaping from doing. Mind creates barriers. This will become a barrier if you think this is so simple. This is too difficult. Then what are you going to do? You cannot do a simple thing. You cannot do a difficult thing. What you are going to do? Tell me. If you want to do a difficult thing, I will make it difficult. If you are going to do a simple thing, I will make it simple. It is both. It depends how it is interpreted. But one thing is needed that you are going to do. If you are not going to do, then mind will give you always explanations. Theoretically, it is possible here and now. There is no actual barrier. But there are barriers. They may not be actual. They may be simply psychological. They may be just your illusions, but they are there. If I say to you that don't be afraid, go. The thing that you are thinking is a snake is not a snake, it is just a rope. Still the fear is there. To you it appears a snake. So whatsoever I say is not going to help. You are trembling. You want to escape and run away. I say it is just a rope. Your mind will say this man may be in conspiracy with the snake. There must be something. This man is forcing you towards the snake. He may be interested in your death or something else. If I try to convince you too much that this is a rope, that will only show that I am somehow interested to force you towards the snake. I say to you, theoretically it is possible to see rope as rope this very moment, but your mind will create many, many problems. In reality, there is no dilemma. In reality, there is no problem. Never has been, never will be. In mind, there are problems. And you look at reality through the mind. So the reality becomes problematic. Your mind works like a prism. It divides and creates problems. And not only that, it creates solutions also. First it creates problems, then it creates solutions which become deeper problems. Because in fact there are no problems to be solved. Reality is absolutely unproblematic. There is no problem. But you cannot see without problems. Wherever you see, you create problems. Your look is problematic. I told you this technique. Now the mind says this is so simple. Why? Why the mind says this is so simple? When for the first time a steam engine was invented, no one believed it. It looked so simple, unbelievable. Just the same steam that you know in your kitchen, in your kettle, the same steam running an engine, running hundreds and hundreds passengers, so much load, the same steam you are acquainted well. This is not believable. And if the engine runs, you know what happened in England? When the first train started, no one was ready to sit in it. No one. Many people were persuaded, bribed. They were given money to sit in the train. At the last point, they escaped. They said, firstly, steam cannot do such miracles. Such simple thing is steam. It cannot do such miracles. And if this engine starts, that means devil is somewhere at work. Devil is running the thing. It is not steam. And what is the guarantee that once the train starts, you will be capable to stop it? No guarantee can be given, because this was the first train. Never it was stopped before. So it is only probable. No experience. So science cannot say, yes, we will stop. Theoretically, we will stop, but the people were not interested in theory. They were interested, is there any actual experience of stopping a train? If it never stops, then what happens to us who are sitting in it? So 12 criminals from the jail were brought as passengers. Anyhow, they were going to die. Anyhow, they were sentenced for death. So there was no problem if the train is not going to stop. Then the mad driver who thinks that it is going to stop, and the scientist who has invented it, and these 12 passengers who were anyhow going to be killed, they will be killed. Such a simple thing as steam. But now no one says this, because now it is working and you know it. Everything is simple. Reality is simple. It is complex only because of ignorance. Otherwise everything is simple. Once you know it, it becomes simple. But the knowing is bound to be difficult, not because of reality, remember, but because of your mind. This technique is simple. It is not going simple to be for you. Your mind will create difficulties. Try with it. Another friend has asked that if I try this method of being aware of my breathing, if I pay attention to my breathing, then I cannot do anything else. The whole attention goes to it. And if I am to do anything else, then I cannot be aware of my breathing. It will happen. So, in the beginning, choose a particular period in the morning or in the evening or any time. For 1 hour, just do the exercise, don't do anything. Don't do anything, just do the exercise. Once you become attuned to it, then it will not be a problem. You can walk on the street and you can be aware. In awareness and attention there is a difference. When you pay attention to anything, it is exclusive. You have to withdraw your attention from everywhere else. So it is attention really. That's why it is called attention. So you pay attention to one thing at the cost of everything else. So if you pay attention to your breathing, you cannot pay attention to your walking or to your driving. Don't try it while you are driving. Because then you cannot pay attention to both. Attention means to one thing, exclusively. Awareness is a very different thing. It is not exclusive. It is not paying attention, it is being attentive. It is just being conscious. You are conscious. Then you are inclusively conscious. Your breathing is in your consciousness. You are walking and someone is passing. You are conscious of him. Someone is making noise on the road. Some train passes by. Some aeroplane flies. Everything inclusive. Awareness is inclusive. Attention exclusive. But in the beginning it will be attention. So first try in selected periods. 1 hour, just be attentive to your breathing. By and by you will be able to change your attention into awareness. Then do simple things, for example walking. Walk attentively with full awareness of walking and also of breathing. Don't create any opposition between two actions, walking and breathing. Be a watcher of both. It is not difficult. Look, for example, I can pay attention to one face here. If I pay attention to one face, all the faces will not be here for me. I pay my attention to one face, then all are bracketed out. If I pay attention only to the nose on that face, then the whole face, remaining face is bracketed out. I can go on narrowing down my attention to a single point. The reverse is also possible. I pay attention to the whole face. Then eyes and nose and everything are there. Then I make my focus great. I look at you not as individuals but as a group. Then the whole group is my attention. If I take you different from the noise that is going on the street, then I am bracketing out street. But I can look at you and the street as one whole. Then I can be aware of you and the street both. I can be aware of the whole cosmos. That depends how your focus is becoming greater and greater. But start from attention and remember that you have to grow into awareness. So choose a small period. The morning is good because you are fresh. Energies are vital. Everything is rising. You are more alive in the morning. Physiologists say not only more alive, your height is a little more in the morning than in the evening. Your height. If you are 6 feet, then in the morning you are 6 feet half inch. And in the evening you remain 6 feet. Half inch is lost. Because your backbone settles down when it is tired. So in the morning, you are fresh, young, alive, with more energy. Do this. Don't make meditation the last thing on your schedule. Make it the first. Then, when you feel that it is now not an effort, you can sit for an hour together, completely immersed into breathing, aware, attentive. Only know this, that you have achieved attention of breathing when there is no effort. You are relaxed. You enjoy it. There is no forcing. Then you have attained it. Then add something else. For example, walking. Remember both. Then go on adding things. After a certain period, you will be capable of being aware of your breath continuously, even in sleep. And unless you are aware, even in sleep, you will not be able to know the gap. But this comes. By and by this comes. One has to be patient. And one has to start rightly. Note this, because the cunning mind will always try to give you a wrong start. Because then you can leave within 2 or 3 days. You can say this is hopeless. The mind will give you a wrong start. So always remember to begin rightly, because rightly begun, half done. Wrongly begun, and we start wrongly. You know very well that attention is a difficult thing, because we are totally asleep. So if you start while you are doing something, and you start being attentive of breathing, you cannot do it. And you are not going to leave the job, you will leave this effort to be attentive of breathing. So don't create unnecessary problems for yourself. In 24 hours, you can find out a small corner. 40 minutes will do. Do it there. But the mind will say many things. The mind will say, where is the time? Already too much work to be done. Where is the time? The mind will say, It is not possible now. Postpone it. Somewhere in the future, when things are better, we will do it. Beware what your mind says to you. Don't be too trusting of the mind. And we are never doubtful. We can doubt everyone, but we never doubt our own minds. Even those who talk too much of skepticism, of doubt, of reason, even they never doubt their own minds. And your mind has brought you to the state you are in. If you are in a hell, your mind has brought you to this hell. And you never doubt this guide. You can doubt any teacher, any master, but you never doubt your mind. With unflinching faith, you move with your mind as the Guru. And your mind has brought you to the mess, the misery you are. So if you are going to doubt anything, doubt first your own mind. And whenever your mind says something, think thrice. Is it true? You don't have any time? Really? You don't have any time to meditate? To give 1 hour to meditation? Think thrice. Ask again and again to the mind, is this the case that you don't have any time? I don't see. I have not seen a man who has not more than enough. Because I go on seeing at people, they are playing cards and they say we are killing time. They are going to pictures and they say what to do. Killing time. Gossiping. Reading the same newspaper again and again. Talking the same things they have been talking their whole lives. And they say we don't have any time. For unnecessary things they have enough time. Why? With unnecessary things, mind is not in any danger. The moment you think of meditation, mind becomes alert. Now you are moving in a dangerous dimension. Because meditation means death of the mind. If you move in meditation, sooner or later, your mind will have to dissolve, retire completely. The mind becomes alert and he begins to say to many things to you, where is the time? And even if there is time, then more important things are to be done first. Postpone it later. Anytime you can meditate. Money is more important. Gather money first, then meditate at your leisure. How can you meditate without money? So pay attention to money, then meditate later on. Meditation can be postponed easily because it is not concerned with your immediate survival. Bread cannot be postponed. You will die. Money cannot be postponed. It is needed for your basic necessities. Meditation can be postponed. It is not concerned with your survival. You can survive without it. Really, you can survive without it easily. The moment you go deep in meditation, you will not survive on this earth at least. You will disappear from the circle of this life, from this wheel. You will disappear. So meditation is like death. Mind becomes afraid. Meditation is like love. Mind becomes afraid. Postpone. And you can go on postponing ad infinitum. When your mind says things like this, and don't think that I am talking about others. I am talking particularly about you. I have come across many intelligent people talking very non-intelligent things about meditation. One man came from Delhi. He is a big government official. He came for the purpose only to learn meditation here. He can come from Delhi. He stayed 7 days here. And I told him to go to the morning meditation class on the Chowpatty beach. He said, but that's difficult. I cannot get up so early. And he will never think what his mind has told him. Is this so difficult? Now you will know. The exercise can be simple, but your mind is not so simple. The mind says, how you can get up in the morning at 6 o'clock? I was in a big city, and the collector of that city came to meet me. At 11 o'clock in the night, I was just going to my bed. And he came, he said, no, it is immediate. I am very disturbed. It is a question of life and death, he told me. So please, give me at least half an hour. Teach me meditation. Otherwise I may commit suicide. I am very much disturbed. I am so frustrated that if something is not going to happen in my inner world, my outer world is lost completely. So I told him, come in the morning at 5 o'clock. He said, that's not possible. It is a question of life and death. But he cannot get up at 5 o'clock. That's not possible. I never get up so early. Okay, I told him, then come at 10. He said, that will also be difficult, because by 10:30 I am to be present at my office. He cannot take 1 day's leave, and it is a question of life and death. So I told him, is it a question of your life and death or my life and death? Whose? And he was not an unintelligent man. He was enough intelligent. These tricks were enough intelligent. So don't think that your mind is not playing the same tricks. It is very intelligent. And because you think it is your mind, you never doubt it is not yours. It is just a social product. It is not yours. It has been given to you. It has been forced upon you. You have been taught and conditioned in a certain way. From the very childhood, your mind is being created by others, parents, society, teachers. The past is creating your mind and influencing your mind. The dead past is forcing itself upon the living continuously. The teachers are just the agents of the dead against the living. They go on forcing things into your mind. But the mind is so intimate with you, the gap is so small, you become identified with it. You say, I am a Hindu. Think again, reconsider it. You are not a Hindu. You have been given a Hindu mind. You were born just a simple, innocent being. Not a Hindu, not a Mohammedan. But you were given a Mohammedan mind, a Hindu mind. You were forced, encaged, imprisoned in a particular conditioning. And then life goes on adding to this mind. And this mind becomes heavy on you. You cannot do anything. The mind starts forcing its own way upon you. Then your experiences, they are being added to the mind. And constantly, your past is conditioning your present every moment. If I say something to you, you are not going to think about it in a fresh way, in an open way. Your old mind, your past will come in between, will begin to talk and chatter, for or against. Remember, your mind is not yours. Your body is not yours. It comes from your parents. Your mind is also not yours. It comes also from your parents. Who you are, either one is identified with the body or with the mind. You think you are young, you think you are old, you think you are Hindu, you think you are a Jain, you are a Parsi. You are none. You were born as a pure consciousness. These are all imprisonments. These techniques which look so simple to you will not be so simple, because this mind will create constantly many complexities and problems. Just a few days before, a man came to me and he said, I am trying your method of meditation, but tell me in what scripture it is given. Because if you can convince me that in my religious scripture it is given, then it will be easier for me to do. But why it will be easier for him to do if it is written in the scripture? Because then the mind will not create problems. The mind will say, okay, this belongs to us, do it. If it is not written in the scripture, then the mind says, what are you doing? The mind goes against it. I asked the man, you have been doing this method for 3 months, how are you feeling? He said, wonderful. I am feeling very wonderful. But tell me, give some authority from the scripture. His own feeling is not an authority at all. He says, I am feeling wonderful. I have become more silent, more peaceful, more loving. I am feeling wonderful. But his own experience is not the authority. The mind asks authority in the past. I told him, it is not written anywhere in your scripture. Rather, many things which are against to this technique are written. His face became sad, and he said, then it will be difficult for me to do it and continue. Why? His own experience is of no value. The past, the conditioning, the mind, it is constantly molding you and destroying your present. So remember and be aware. Be skeptical and doubting about your mind. Don't trust it. And if you can attain to such maturity of not trusting your mind, only then these techniques will be really simple, helpful, functioning. They will work miracles. They can work miracles. 2 questions more. These techniques, these methods cannot be understood intellectually at all. I am trying the impossible. But then why I am trying? If they cannot be understood intellectually, then why I am talking to you? They cannot be understood intellectually, but there is no other way to make you aware of certain techniques which can change your life totally. You can understand only intellect. This is a problem. You cannot understand anything else. You can understand only the intellect. And these techniques cannot be understood intellectually. So how to communicate? Either you should become capable of understanding without intellect being brought in, or some methods should be found so that these techniques can be made intellectually understandable. The second is not possible, but the first is possible. You will have to start intellectually, but don't cling to it. When I say do, try doing. If something begins to happen within you, then you will be capable of throwing your intellect aside and reaching towards me direct, without the intellect, without the mediation, without the mediators. But start doing something. We can go on talking for years and years. Your mind can be stuffed with many things. That is not going to help. It may rather harm you, because you begin to know many things. And when you know many things, you will become confused. It is not good to know many things. It is good to know a little and practice it. A single technique can be helpful. Something done is always helpful. What is the difficulty in doing it? Deep down somewhere, there is fear. If you do it, the fear is, it may be that something starts happening. That is the fear. It may look paradoxical, but I have been meeting so many persons. They think they want to change. They say they need mutation. They ask for a deep transformation. But deep down they are afraid also. They are dual, double. They have two minds. They go on asking about what to do and never doing it. Why then they go on asking? Just to deceive themselves that they are really interested in transforming themselves. That's why they are asking. This gives a facade, an appearance that they are really, sincerely interested in changing themselves. That's why they are asking, going to this guru and that, finding, trying, but they never do anything. Deep down they are afraid. Erich Fromm has written a book, Fear of Freedom. The title seems contradictory. Everyone thinks we like freedom. Everyone thinks we are endeavoring for freedom. In this world and in that world also. Moksha. We want to be freed from all limitations, from all slaveries. We want to be totally free. But Erich Fromm says, man is afraid of freedom. We go on saying that we want, we go on convincing ourselves that we want, but deep down we are afraid of freedom. We don't want. Why? Why this duality? Freedom creates fear, and meditation is the deepest freedom possible. You are not freed only from outward limitations. You are freed from inner slavery, the very mind, the base of all slaveries. You are freed from all past. The moment you have no mind, the past has disappeared. You have transcended history. Now there is no society, no religion, no scripture, no tradition, because they all have their abode in the mind. Now there is no past, no future, because past and future are parts of the mind, memory, imagination. Now you are here and now in the present. Now there is going to be no future. There will be now and now and now. Eternal now. You are freed completely. You have transcended all tradition, all history, body, mind, everything. One becomes fearful. Such freedom, then where you will be? In such freedom can you exist? In such freedom, in such vastness, can you have your small I, your ego? Can you say I am? You can say I am in bondage, because you can know your boundary. When there is no bondage, there is no boundary. You become just like a space, nothingness. Absolute nothingness, emptiness, that creates fear. So one goes on talking about meditation, how to do it, and one goes on without doing it. All the questions arise out of this fear. Feel this fear. If you know it, it will disappear. If you don't know it, it will continue. Are you ready to die in the spiritual sense? Are you ready to be not? Buddha, whenever anyone will come to him, will say, he will say, this is the basic truth, that you are not. And because you are not, you cannot die, you cannot be born. And because you are not, you cannot be in suffering and bondage. Are you ready to accept this? Buddha will ask, are you ready to accept this? If you are not ready to accept this, then don't try meditation first. First try whether really you are or you are not. Meditate on this first. Is there any self? Is there any substance within? Or you are just a combination? If you go to find out, you will find your body a combination. Something has come from your mother, something has come from your father, and all else has come from food. This is your body. In this body you are not, there is no self. Contemplate on the mind. Something has come from here, something from there. Mind has nothing as original. Just accumulation. Find out, is there any self in the mind? If you move deep, you will find your identity just like onion. You put off one layer, another layer comes up. You put off another layer comes up. You go on putting layers off, and ultimately you come to a nothingness. All the layers thrown, there is nothing inside. Body and mind are like onions. When you have put body and mind both off, then you come to encounter a nothingness, an abyss, a bottomless void. Buddha has called it Sunya. To encounter this Sunya, to encounter this void, creates fear. That fear is there. That's why we never do meditation. We talk about it, but we never do anything about it. That fear is there. You know deep down there is a void, but you cannot escape this fear. Whatsoever you do, the fear will remain. Unless you encounter it, that's the only way. Once you encounter your nothingness, once you know that you are within just like space, Sunya, then there will be no fear. then there cannot be any fear, because this sunya, this void, cannot be destroyed. This void is not going to die. That which was going to die is no more. It was just nothing but layers of the onion. That's why many times in deep meditation, one comes when nearer to this nothingness, one becomes afraid and trembling. One feels that one is going to die. One wants to escape from this nothingness back to the world. And many go back. Then they never turn within. And as I see it, every one of you has tried in some life or other some meditative technique. You have been nearer to the nothingness, and then fear gripped you and you escaped. And deep in your past memories, that memory is there. That becomes the hindrance. Whenever again you think of trying meditation, that past memory deep down in your unconscious mind again disturbs you and says, go on thinking, don't do it. You have done it once. It is difficult to find a man, because I have looked in many. It is difficult to find a man who has not tried once or twice in some life meditation. But the memory is there. You are not conscious of it. You are not aware of it. Where the memory is, it is there. Whenever you begin to do something, that becomes a barrier. And they said, and that begins to stop you in many ways. So, if you are really interested in meditation, find out your own fear about it. Be sincere about it. Are you afraid? If you are afraid, then first something has to be done about your fear, not about meditation. Buddha used to try many devices. If someone will say to him that I am afraid of trying meditation, and this is a must. The teacher must be told that you are afraid. You cannot deceive the teacher, and there is no need, and it is deceiving yourself. So whenever someone will say, I am afraid of meditation, Buddha will say, you are fulfilling the first requirement. If you say yourself that you are afraid of meditation, then something becomes possible. Then something can be done. Because you have uncovered a deep thing. So what is the fear? Meditate on it. Go and dig where it comes from. What is the source? And all fear is basically death-oriented. All fear, whatsoever its form, mode, whatsoever its shape, name, all fear is death-oriented. If you move deep, you will find that you are afraid of death. If someone will come to Buddha and will say that I am afraid of death, I have found out, then Buddha will say, go to the burning heart, go to the cemetery, and meditate on funeral pyres. People are dying daily. They will be burnt. You just remain there on Margat. Meditate on their burning fires. When their family members have gone, you remain there. Just look in the fire, the burning body, everything becoming smoke. You just look in it deeply. Don't think, just meditate on it. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. When it becomes a certainty to you that death cannot be escaped, when it becomes absolutely certain that death is the way of life, that death is implied in life, that death is going to be, there is no way out, you are already in. Only then come to me. Meditating on death, seeing every day, night and day, dead bodies being burnt, dissolved into ashes. Just smoke remains and disappears. Meditating for months together, the certainty will arise. The death is certain. The only certainty really. The only thing certain in life is death. Everything is uncertain. Maybe, may not be. But you cannot say maybe, may not be for death. It is. It is going to be. It has already occurred. The moment you entered life, you entered death. Now nothing can be done about it. When this certainty will arise, the man will come back and he will say, now nothing can be done about death. Death is certain. When death is certain, there is no fear. Fear is always with things which can be changed. If death is to be, fear disappears. If you can change, if you can do something about death, then fear will remain. If nothing can be done, you are already in it. It is absolutely certain. Fear disappears. And when fear of death disappears, Buddha will allow to meditate. He'll say, now you can meditate. So go in your mind also deep. Listening to these techniques will be helpful only when your inner barriers are broken, inner fears disappear, and you are certain that death is the reality. So if you die in meditation, there is no fear. Death is certain. So even if death occurs in meditation, there is no fear. Only then you can move. And then you can move a rocket speed. Because the barriers are not there. The time is taken not by distance but the barriers. You can move this very moment. If there is no barrier, you are already there. Only the barriers. It is a hurdle race. And you go on putting more and more hurdles. You feel good. When you cross a hurdle, you feel good. Now I have crossed the hurdle. And the idiocy of it, the foolishness of it is that the hurdle was placed by you in the first place. It was never there. You go on placing hurdles, then jumping upon them, then feeling good, then you go on putting more hurdles and jumping. And you move in a circle and never reach to the center. Mind creates hurdles because mind is afraid. It will give you many explanations why you are not doing meditation. Don't believe it. Go deep, find out the basic cause. Why one person goes on talking about food and never eats? What is the problem? The man seems mad. One man goes on talking about love and never loves. One man goes on talking about something and never doing anything about it. This talking becomes obsessive. It becomes a compulsion. One goes on, one feels that talking is as if something doing. By talking you are doing something. One feels at ease. One is doing something, at least talking, at least reading, at least listening. This is not doing. This is deceptive. Don't fall in the deception. I will be talking here about these 112 methods, not to feed your mind, not to make you more knowledgeable, not to make you more informed. I am not trying to make you a Pandit. I am talking here to give you a certain technique which can change your life. So whichever method appeals to you, don't start talking about it. Do it. Be silent about it and do it. Your mind will raise many questions. Just inquire deeply first. Before asking me, inquire deeply first. Are those questions really significant? Or your mind is just deceiving you? Do, then ask. Then your questioning becomes practical. And I know which question has been asked through doing, and which question has been asked just through curiosity, just through intellect. So by and by, I will not take your intellectual questions at all. Do something, then your questions become significant. These questions, that this exercise is a very simple one, are not asked after doing. This is not so simple. In the end, I must repeat again, you are already the truth. Only a certain awakening is needed. You are not to go anywhere else. You are to go into yourself. And the going is possible this very moment. If you can put aside your mind, you enter here and now. If you cannot put your mind aside, these techniques are for putting your mind aside. These techniques are really not for meditation, they are for putting the mind aside. Once the mind is not there, you are there. I think this is enough for today, or even more than enough.